My friends, I wanted to do a little quick video about a piece of gear that I bought. I'm not really all about gear. Sometimes it looks like I am, but I'm not trying to sell you anything. I get no kickbacks from anybody. I have no affiliation deals. I do tell people when I get something for free, if I'm asked to review it, but I still always try to give an honest opinion. But this is something I bought for myself for Christmas this year because I knew I kind of wanted to go out and do some performing on my own. This looks like an insignificant piece of gear. Doesn't look like much, about the size of a big lunchbox, one of those big metal lunch boxes. But if you've watched any of the recent videos I've done with the Whiskey River Band, which is a country band that I've at least partially joined at the behest of bequest, or whatever the word is, the request of one of my buddies. We used this to play, and it was on the ground. If you looked at the videos, you would have seen this on the ground, and we ran everything into it. It is the Allen Heath CQ20b. CQ20b. That's what it looks like on the back. It is 16 channels in. You can see you got 8 here that are regular XLR. You got 8 that are XLR or 1/4 inch. Then you also have a stereo in, and got 2 stereo ins, I guess, 2 stereo ins. I've not maxed this thing out yet, so altogether it is 20 channels that can go into it. And what we did, we ran, as I recall, we ran just a drum left and right. We did bass, guitar, other guitar, vocal, and then I think we also we recorded all of those onto this little SD card over here. I've got it taken out right now. But I formatted an SD card in here, a fast SD. There are recommendations as to what kind to use. I was looking around to see if I had the SD card with me. I pulled it out. I put a 128 gig SD card in. You have to go through the formatting process, which is part of the software, the CQ software for running the mixer. We ran it Wi-Fi using that thing there. I used my MacBook Pro to control it. All I had used it for prior to that was for doing like some sit-down talks, like a symposium thing about. I'd shared the video on that where I did that over at the community house. But this is the first time going out with a band and gigging with it. And so we recorded 10 channels of audio. I had a left and right mix, like I say, drums, bass, guitar, other guitar, and 3 vocals. I think that adds up to 10 tracks. And I gotta tell you, it performed splendidly. It was easy to set up. It took me a little while to figure out the software. It's been a learning process for me. It's not really hard though. It's just finding what's where. And so I may do a future video on the software package to use to control this. But I upgraded the firmware about 2 weeks ago. It has gone through a firmware upgrade since I bought it back in January. So had it since January. First gig was April 20th. I'm just going to say everything sounded great, apart from the fact we halfway knew our songs. If you watch those videos, you'll realize that we were somewhat ill prepared. We were hired to do 32 songs at a show over at the Harley Davidson place in Hickory, which is called Blue Ridge Harley Davidson. It was mostly country music, some old classic rock and pop type stuff, blues. And but everybody said it sounded great. We used no big fancy mixer. Everything went in here. We controlled everything, all the levels with software. All the reverbs and delays and chorus and everything was managed through this a little piece of gear here. And we recorded live at let's say it right, 96 kilohertz, right? 24-bit audio, 24-bit, 96 kilohertz. What I did. Just to be honest with you, in post, when I pulled it into Logic, I did all the mixing, the audio mixing in Logic. Now I'd export the audio and match it to the video. So go watch any of those videos you care to. I posted, I think, Purple Rain and Neon Moon, and I'm trying to remember what else. I did a version of With or Without You. We've done probably some Luke Combs music or something. I've posted, I think, 5 videos. Every bit of it is the audio coming off of this. Some of it I mixed a little better than other. I was just really honestly learning what I could do with the audio. And I'm just saying it's great. It's great to be able to bring the tracks in at that very high quality. That's like probably 3 times what 16-bit 44.1 is what CD quality audio is. So this, rather than 1644.1, this was 2496. And it sounded great. And it did not even come close to filling up a card. 128, I'm trying to remember, I'm going to say it was about 32 gigs for both sets. So we did 32 songs over the course of 2 sets, and I think it was about 32 gigs of audio. So a 64 gig card would have got the whole show. But I just wanted to brag on this thing and say that, yeah, it works great. It's worth having. I think it's splendid. I love the fact that I had my MacBook Pro on stage with me where I could run the mixer and was not trying to patch in and run Logic and stuff simultaneously on the mixer. I love being able to put the sound card in there and record straight to an SD card and not have to try to synchronize it and everything with Logic. Like I say, could have done that, but the other thing we thought about doing, we've not done it yet. We did everything live. We didn't do any backing tracks, but I also didn't want to record from the Mac while it's playing out from the Mac. So I think at some point in the future we might do some backing tracks, and those backing tracks will probably come from the Mac. I mean, they could be put on the card and delivered that way, but I like to be able to see the backing tracks, and I've got them set up in such a way that I can change some levels and stuff on the fly. That would be easier than doing it on this. So I wanted to use the MacBook Pro. Didn't do it this time, but next time out maybe to control backing tracks and not have to worry about simultaneous playback and record, right? So this handled all the record while the music was being mixed and passed through it, and it was pristine. It's great sounding audio, even though it just shows all the warts and everything. I mean, I could go in. I did not try to pitch correct to anything or nothing. All I did was balance the levels a little bit and pan maybe one guitar left, one guitar right. That was all the mixing that I did. When I brought the mixed down audio into Premiere, I did compress it a little bit in Adobe Premiere just so it would have a little extra thump. They have a thing called a tube modeled compressor, and you can tell it to do like a pop master, and it will go in and do a few things there. And so I kind of let the software do that, but that was it. Allen Heath CQ20b. I'm here to say that thing is small, it's lightweight. I'm going to guess it weighs 4 pounds, maybe something like that, 5 maybe. And no bigger, like I said, no bigger than a lunchbox. You don't have to bring a big old, at least for a gigging musician, it does the kind of stuff that we do, 4-piece, 5-piece. We could run keyboards. We had enough inputs. I could have done stereo with my guitar. I could have gone out of a Helix and done stereo left, right. We could have, if I brought my keyboards, I could have done stereo keyboards left and right. We still have had plenty of space to do that. And there's so much more that I've not even tried. I've not tried doing anything with I've not tried running a network cable. I guess it would be maybe more stable if I ran a Ethernet out from the MacBook into this. But this worked great. This was right behind me, so 10 feet from the MacBook, so we didn't lose any signal or anything. It's got a USB in and out, I guess, here. I never have even taken the plugs off those to see what they look like, but I know it's just a regular old, USB, probably C. Yeah, or no, that's it looks like that's just a regular, like for a USB thumb drive. And this would have to be that's just one of the standard, what do you call those? One that looks like a little house. So yeah, that, and then this one, that is the network. That's your Ethernet hole right there. But throw your a card in there. You can record your whole show. There's one panel where you go in. The one thing I will say, it kind of got me when I put a card in there that I thought I needed a big card, so I put a 128 in, and everything was grayed out where I couldn't turn the record on. And then I realized it's probably because I haven't formatted this SD card, and that's exactly what it was. I went back, took time to format the SD card, and then it turned all the little, I could tell it which channel to record. And if you finish your set, you tell it to stop recording. Time to start set 2. You start set 2, and it has a whole different set of 10 tracks. So it made me 2 sets, the set 1 and the set 2 audio. And then I had 4 GoPros that I used to shoot the gig. One of them died about halfway through, so yeah, pretty cool. I just want to say big thanks to Allen Heath for creating something like this. My first experience with them was when I was in college, and I worked some sound and everything, sound jobs as part of my schoolwork, my school jobs. I was a DJ, I was an RA. I tutored Logic and at a lower level English, and then I also ran sound at Moore Auditorium, and they had an Allen Heath board. Seems like it was 32 or 48 channels. It's a big old board. It's awesome. It was awesome to get to use that. So in my mind, Allen Heath stuff was top of the line. To me, it always has been. I'm sure there probably are fancier pieces of gear, but man, it's just rock solid. Sounds good. And the software, the guys liked it. The guys used in-ears, and so they ran their monitors out from these things. They had in-ears. I did not use in-ear. I ran out to a little hotspot. And the reason I did that, I've used the in-ears before, but in this band I had to change guitars like 5 times because we had, I had a standard tuned guitar, I had a standard tune with drop D, so I didn't have to like be reaching up and changing, tunings. I had a full step down, drop D, and a half step down. So I had 5 guitars I was playing. And when I put in-ears in, and I've got them in here, and I got them, and I'm changing straps and changing guitars, I always get tangled up. I'm just too dang clumsy. I end up yanking my in-ears out or unplugging the cable. It's just unwieldy. So I had a little hot spot about 5 feet from me. It did not feed back at all. We used Matt, our lead singer. He has a Shure SM58 betas. And so I used a 58 beta, and the sound coming from that came out of here. It's almost like I had another PA system coming in. That little hotspot is excellent. This is not one of the old ones. This is one of the newer ones. Maybe I'll put a picture of it so you can see what kind of hotspot I was using. But it was great. It was great to be able to hear everything really well, and the audience seemed to hear everything really well, to be able to manage it all really great from a stand that I had with my MacBook Pro on it, and to be able to record everything live instead of, some of the videos that I put out with Grandma's Medicine, they sounded less than good because it was just audio coming off of a GoPro that was kind of out front, not even in front of the speakers. So, this sounded marginally okay, but this, at least from an audio quality point of view, not that we played great, from an audio quality point of view, it did really well. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you have any questions about the CQ20b, or if you'd like to see a sort of a tutorial instructional as to how the software integrates with it and how that works, how you set it to record, let me know. I don't know if there'll be any, much interest in this or not. Sometimes I post videos that get watched 100 times, sometimes thousands of times. I never can tell. But if you're seeking info on the setup and everything of an Allen Heath CQ20b, I have that piece of gear and I dig it. I like it a lot. Peace to all who watch. Subscribe to the channel if you like.